Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with the destructive Royal Giant deck that can always come back. You'll have tons of opportunities to take tower with Goblin Barrels, Royal Giants, or even the Giant Skeleton Bomb. You'll have tons of opportunities to bait out your opponent's arrows and log with your Skeleton Army and Bomber so your Goblin Barrel can completely thrive. If your opponent's spells are out of cycle just once, and you get a Giant Skeleton or Royal Giant tanking for the Goblin Barrel, the damage that you'll get is immeasurable. Your opponent's tower will stay targeted on the Giant Skeleton or Royal Giant while the Goblins just stack up damage. And after you take tower, the zappies are going to hold all of your opponent's units in place while the hunter instantly deletes them. And it's probably not going to be fun for opponents to spam into Giant Skeletons and Skeleton Army too. My favorite combo in the deck is Royal Giant and Giant Skeleton. If your opponent tries to get on top of the Royal Giant, they always have to finish off the Giant Skeleton first, which will blow back their units or completely eliminate them, allowing your Royal Giant to get much more damage. So let's go jump straight some games with this new meta Royal Giant deck and assert dominance. A whole lot of love to everyone that's using creator code SirTag to support the channel. All right, we got a game against Mr. Well, so hopefully we can have the best defenses on this planet if we go for a Royal Giant. If he drops anything in the back, we would definitely do that. Hey, look at that. He's going to go for a Barbarian Barrel. Dude, I hate the fact that you have Elixir Collector because I don't have Earthquake. I don't have a single big spell to counter that. And I'm probably going to have to use my Goblin Barrel here. Ooh, Tornado is already coming out of cycle for our opponent. So I'm going to Goblin Barrel off to the side because for the most part, if you go and kill the Elixir Collector with your Goblins, then they'll go directly on top of the King Tower and they'll give them the King Tower activation. So I'm hoping that none of the Goblins go towards the King Tower. Let's go! I'm so happy that worked out because currently we're up a lot of damage. We've dropped zappies in a situation that I don't know if I needed to, but I was so scared of him zapping with the mini P.E.K.K.A. that I was like, it's probably okay. But now I instantly regret that decision because zappies on defense against the Golem would have been so nice. He's just going to eat all that damage and go completely and utterly all in me. He doesn't care about his towers. He doesn't care about anything. He's currently up a solid 8 elixir or something along the lines from that. So if we're able to defend this, that would be very surprising. I'm going to Hunter in preparation, and then last possible second, I'm going to go Giant Skeleton here so then I can stack up and just clean up all of his annoying cards that are spammed at the river. So even if you go for Tornado, all the bait cards are going to die to the Giant Skeleton Bomb, so we're chilling. Those are gonzo. We don't have to worry about them anymore. And on top of that, I know that you're likely going to end up having Electro Dragon, Lumberjack, Elixir Collector, Golem deck, my favorite one. But you don't have Elite Barbarians, and Elite Barbarians are way better at shutting down Royal Giants. They're super good against Hog Riders. I think Elite Barbarians in general are just better, so the fact that you don't have that means that my win condition can kind of just go all over the place and just go ham. I think that the Skeleton Army is also able to go and kill the mini P.E.K.K.A. here before you get good enough counter push. Even if you go in for the mini P.E.K.K.A. plus Dark Prince, the Dark Prince is only going to hit one of the zappies in the front, so it's not going to be able to hit all of them. And then we should be able to clean the rest of it up. Oh, it killed 2 of the zappies. I thought I was only going to hit one of them. Well, it is what it is. So if I Goblin Barrel on top of this, you're not going to have Barbarian Barrel, but you do end up having a Tornado. So we'll see if you decide to do that or not. I can also go in for arrows. Even if you Tornado that, you're still going to take damage on the Elixir Collector, so it's well worth it. And then the Bomber's able to give us like 2 hits on the tower, and that's going to be enough to finish it off. Let's go! I'm so glad I knew that interaction, because if I didn't, now we would be in a situation where I hadn't taken the tower, and I wouldn't be able to concentrate all my resources on defending. So even though I didn't get the interaction correct against the Dark Prince, I did get the interaction on offense, which matters a lot more. Okay, so he's going to go in for a Barbarian Barrel as well. As long as he kills my Giant Skeleton, I'm in a good spot. Like, I've never said this before, but I want my unit to die. I want my units to be wiped off the face of the map, brothers. All right, we're going to go in for a Skeleton Army here, too. So just to get back to a Giant Skeleton, that's the cheapest elixir investment possible. And let's go! 14 seconds remaining. We're holding the door, and we walk with a win. I can't wipe this stupid smile off of my face because I really thought I was going to lose. Not having a big spell for an Elixir Collector means that you're always going to be at Elixir deficit. So it's crazy that this deck can defend even when you're down 8+ elixirs, simply because Giant Skeleton and Hunter are that strong of cards. Whenever we see Royal Ghost, we are immediately assuming a P.E.K.K.A. deck. The best thing about Giant Skeleton is a lot of times it will bait out the P.E.K.K.A. and then when they drop the P.E.K.K.A. on the Giant Skeleton, you trade relatively well. You can go in for a Royal Giant afterward, and then they're not going to have the P.E.K.K.A. to counter it, and then they just lose the game. But this is not the case here, because I think my opponent is going to end up having the Royal Hogs version of Giant Skeleton mirror shenanigans. So what I'm expecting is to get a really nice arrows on top of the zappies here to finish them off with the Giant Skeleton Bomb. So then the Royal Giant can give us more value. Ignore the one zappy that goes in the other side. And then counter his Giant Skeleton with the Skeleton Army. Expect him to go in for Mother Witch, but not have enough elixir immediately because he had just dropped the Royal Hogs. So we can go in for a Hunter to clean up the rest of his stuff. He will 110% go in for a Mother Witch here, but it's okay because most of the skeletons are going to die. And wait, he's not Mother Witching. He's going to go other lane and right into a Bomber. Let's go, baby. So we know he's going to go in for arrows whenever he gets the opportunity, which is going to damage down part of my zappies. What is he doing? All of my predictions aren't working. Okay, there's the arrows. I was freaking out for a second. I was like, you know, he should be doing these plays, but he's not doing them. So my mind is kind of going to implode and I won't be able to predict the future anymore. I kind of like making predictions on my opponents so that I can, you know, adjust to what they're going to do and make the best game plan. So the fact that he wasn't doing anything predictable was really scary for a second. Okay, so I'm going to go for a Goblin Barrel in front, see if he decides to go in for Zappies off to the side to counter it. Yeah, so if he goes off to the side, the majority of the Goblins are able to hit the tower. And we can go in for a Giant Skeleton on the right. Remember, he doesn't have arrows in cycle because he dropped it on top of our last iteration of Skeletons and Bombers. So if he doesn't have his arrows in cycle, we can just Skeleton Army and fully shut that down for a really nice trade. He's going to Fisherman here as well. So the Fisherman's going to be out of cycle and it's going to go into Skeletons instead. So I can Royal Giant successfully at the river. Even if you activate King Tower here and you pull the Giant Skeleton, you're not going to have any way of killing that. And look at the Fisherman. It's going to get disrupted by the bomb. So he was going to activate King Tower anyway. But, I mean, if you activate King Tower against the Giant Skeleton deck, does that help you? Does that help you against Royal Giant? I don't think so. I think that doesn't matter. Okay, so he used arrows, so I don't think he has anything for this. I don't think that you're going to be able to stop that since you can't cycle mirrored arrows. Since you had just dropped your Royal Hogs, you can't just go back and click the delete button and be like, hey, I want to go and mirror that up instead. I really wish I didn't go and drop my Royal Hogs. All right, I'm going to go Goblin Barrel here, and as long as we can go for Bomber on top of the rest of the little piggies, we should be able to defend for the rest of the 16 seconds. So, to be honest with you guys, I had no clue where this game was going to go. I was trying to make predictions on this guy the entire start of the game, and he was doing something wild stuff. And I'm just glad to win. So, GG, well played, and peace out to our opponent. This is the best deck in the game, the one that he's playing. And the fact that we can beat it when it's got Mirror Mother Witch feels fantastic. I definitely want to go in for Zappies in the back just to give our opponent, you know, the misconception that we're going to be able to defend at all angles all the time. And I'll just Royal Giant on the other side, and he'll be like, yeah, you're just a super defensive deck. I can cycle my Golden Knight. But, you know, dude, that's not how we play with this deck. It is full-on aggression when I'm given the opportunity. And this is one of those matchups where if your opponent's going to end up having Zappies and they're going to have Goblin Cage, it's extremely hard to find your way through unless it's single elixir. Like, this is not an easy matchup to win in double because your opponent will always be able to afford good answers to you. I think the Bomber is able to reach the other side and then go and hit the Golden Knight and the Piggy, so I felt pretty comfortable doing that. I knew I wasn't going to lose my entire tower. I am in a bad spot, and he is laughing at me because he's currently winning the game. But I want to get destructive amount of damage with this deck in these type of matchups where you need to. I think that the Giant Skeleton doesn't even die here. Like, it's really annoying. You have to drop so much more elixir than you would want to. With the Goblin Cage out of cycle, he's not going to be able to defend this easily. He's going to have to go for Zappies. I would hope that I can go in for a Royal Giant and a Barbarian Barrel because the Barbarian Barrel, or Goblin Barrel, because the Barbarian Barrel is out of cycle. Yeah, he doesn't have Barbarian Barrel in cycle, so I can go in for a Goblin Barrel here with the Royal Giant tanking, and he's just going to take a ton of damage. Oh, he's got arrows. Wait, what? Seriously? He's going to have this version? He's going to have Barbarian Barrel and he's going to have arrows? This is terrible for me. I need to go Skeleton Army like last resort to shut down the Royal Hogs. I think I'm in a bad spot, guys. I don't think I can win this anymore. Maybe I can. Maybe by some miracle we're able to pulverize our way through and win it, but this is way harder than I thought. He has Barb Barrel and arrows in the same deck. This guy is one wild child. I don't think he has Mirror. I think he has double small spells instead. And the little piggy does enough damage to take it out. With Goblin Cage, you know, it's harder because Fisherman, I can stop it. I can distract it with skeletons. I can get more value. This is just insanely difficult. And he's laughing at us so much. He's really not a nice person. I hope we can beat someone that is this BM. Okay, so he goes in for a terrible Golden Knight and overcommits. That's great for us. I think I want to go in for a Royal Giant here and do a tricky barrel, so maybe he'll miss it. I'm going to go in for a Goblin Barrel a little bit further back, and maybe he's going to miss it. He's going to go in for a Barbarian Barrel, and then he's going to arrows. Unfortunately, he hits everything. But the Giant Skeleton's still alive. Wait. With arrows, we're able to kill the entirety of the Zappies. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. The comeback is real. This might be able to steal the game for us. I'm going to Giant Skeleton in the middle. It doesn't necessarily matter if he has piggies, because eventually my skeletons are going to die. And I'm still in an okay spot. 2 Giant Skeletons on the map. That's going to kill all of his junk. I can go for Bomber here, and I can go for Hunter. He doesn't even know the right placement. He's dropping in the wrong spot. He's dropping it further back than he should. He's going to arrow on me and overcommit. This is kind of a vibe, because I go Goblin Barrel here, and he misses it. We can go for a Royal Giant, and then we can go for a Skeleton Army. Because he doesn't have arrows in cycle, he's going to miss one of the Goblins. The Skeleton Army can ransack his building, and then it's going to overwhelm him on offense. The Royal Giant's on the tower. I can go for arrows here, too. As long as I get a little bit of damage on the Mother Witch, then he's not going to get too much piggy potential on the counter push. Wait, he's going to all-in me. I need to go for Hunter, but he's going to be able to Golden Knight me as well. The Bomber's going to do a lot of damage. He's going to Golden Knight any second. Please stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Why wasn't I able to stop the Golden Knight damage? Oh, that's so scary. All right, he didn't arrows me, and he didn't overcommit with his spells, so that's also not good for me as well. If I go in for... wait, he did overcommit with his spells. What is he doing? What are those? We're going to go in for a Goblin Barrel, we're going to Royal Giant, and then we're going to Skeleton Army just like we did last time. He's not ready for this because with the Skeleton Army immediately on top of his building, he's not able to defend this. We can Bomber. The Royal Giant's coming through. Let's go, baby. Are you kidding me? This guy was BMing me like crazy. He was such a mean person with a huge hard counter, having double small spells with the Mother Witch and a building and a Golden Knight, and we still dominate him. Having crazy comebacks like this one is exactly why I love Royal Giant Giant Skeleton. The devastating damage that you have with this deck means that you can always come back. After that absolutely ridiculous game, coming back against such a hard counter, I wonder if we can just win another one in a row. This deck has been so solid for us. Hey, he's logging. He's not supposed to do that. I don't think he's allowed to. I mean, I can go for a Goblin Barrel and the Royal Giant's going to tank, and this is going to give you a spank. I don't think you can defend. That is awesome. So the good thing about this deck is a lot of people cycle their small spells, right? So if your opponent decides to go in for a Barb Barrel, a Log, or a Snowball in your tower at the start, and that is their only small spell, you go in for the Royal Giant or Giant Skeleton there, and then you just give them like an absolute beatdown. It's hilarious to see this deck in action when you can get that type of value. Here's the thing, though. I think, admittedly, playing against an Ice Golem, Hog Rider, Fast Cycle deck might not be the easiest matchup, because if your opponent's got Fireball, they can Fireball the Hunter, they can Fireball the Zappies, and the Hunter is able to stop all but one Hog Rider hit, but that one Hog Rider hit will add up over time, so it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. I want to go in for a Giant Skeleton on the left-hand side and build up a big push, because I want to take this tower in the left-hand side in single elixir, since this is definitely going to be a difficult matchup. As I said before, if you play against difficult matchups where you're playing against hopefully a good player, you want to make sure that you do a lot of damage early on, otherwise you're likely going to lose. If we arrows on top of the Skeletons, the Musketeer, and the Cannon, this would be a good trade, so I'm hoping that he drops a Cannon here. He doesn't. Oh, he drops it like last second, so that was pretty smart on his end. I'm able to Skeleton Army here, and I think the Royal Giant got pushed to the tower. Dude, how did that interaction work? I don't know how that worked. I'm genuinely flabbergasted by the fact that the Royal Giant meandered his way and snuck past the defenses and crusaded to get those hits for me. That's a vibe. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to go in for a Goblin Barrel in a spot that maybe he misses it with a Log. I don't know if he's going to be bad and misses it. I don't think so. Usually people at like top 10,000 in the world are usually not going to miss that too often when nothing else is going on. I'm going to go in for a Hunter. I'm also going to go in for a Bomber. We need to splash onto the Ice Golem so then the Hunter can retarget on that. And as you saw, he's got Fireball, so he's just going to Fireball on top of that every chance he can. Smart decision, smart player. That's exactly what we expected. I might have to do a tower trade. I don't think that if he goes in for a Hog Rider, I'll be able to defend it easily. In Double Elixir, I can go in for a Skeleton Army, and then he won't be able to log it, because if he does, then he's going to lose to the Goblin Barrel, so that's kind of what we're hoping for right now. I don't expect it to work extremely well for us, but there's a chance. I'm going to go Goblin Barrel early so then we can get the Log out of him. We'll have to wait and see if it works out well. Yeah, so we get the Log, so then I don't think he's able to kill the Skeleton Army, so that's going to be a great trade. Fully shut down the Hog Rider, and then we can go in for the Bomber. So even though it might have looked weird, like, Jake, why would you do that? You know what your opponent's going to do. You know they're going to counter you. I mean, he wasn't able to counter it that successfully. And then we can go for another Royal Giant and cycle multiple of them. He did Log, so I'm going to go for a Goblin Barrel here and then get the Fireball out of him, and then arrows on top of the Musketeer. I think that maybe if we can kill the Musketeer, it's a vibe. Oh, I guess with the Fireball out of cycle, I can go for Zappies, and then I can go in for a Bomber. It's not necessarily that reliable. I think he's going to go in for a Hog Rider, so I'm making the prediction with the Hunter, and we do get the Hunter to be able to hit that. I'm going to go in for a Skeleton Army as well. He's going to Log. I think that that's not going to get a hit. Wait, he doesn't have Log in cycle. How's he supposed to defend this now? All right, we're going to go Goblin Barrel, and we're going to go arrows with the Royal Giant tanking. This should be enough. He's going to have to Fireball, and then if we can arrows on top of the Cannon, I think that the Royal Giant's able to get a hit fast enough. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if the Royal Giant's able to get a hit fast enough. No! So as you guys can see, if you play against a regular 2.6 Hog Rider fast cycle deck with Log and Fireball, they're going to have a lot of defenses to this deck, and I think it is actually a bad matchup. But as you can see, it was a really close game, and we literally lost by 12 HP. The main issue with this matchup is if they go Ice Golem, Hog Rider, and Fireball Log on top of your defenses, you don't have a building and all of your cards die to spells. So if they all in and get that Hog Rider to hit your tower at the last second, there's not much you can do to stop it. Meanwhile, they can distract and slow down your stuff with cannons and ice spirits, and my Royal Giant just wasn't able to get that final finishing hit. All right, here we go. Let's get it. Definitely gonna go for a Goblin Barrel to start off the game. Probably my favorite play with this deck, and I really wish I was running the version with Rocket. Rocket is a free win into everyone that's got Elixir Golem, but if I can damage it down fast enough with a Bomber and a Giant Skeleton, maybe we're not going to have problems. There's a high chance that we're going to have problems, but I'm hoping that that's not the case. So I'm going to Hunter as quickly as I can, and then I'm going to try to Arrows when a lot of bats start to accumulate. So we're going to be able to finish those off. I have a lot of Elixir, and the Giant Skeleton's going to knock back his stuff. Wait, is Elixir Golem that trash that even when you don't have Rockets, easy to defend? I think that's the case. I'm going to Goblin Barrel, force out a Fireball. The Hunter is still coming at the tower, so he's going to have to probably drop some Elixir to defend that. But, I mean, after all, he is an Elixir Golem player. They are a different breed. The type that don't defend their towers no matter what's coming at them. If I want to go for Royal Giant on the right-hand side, I mean, chances he probably ignores it or drops an Inferno Dragon. Oh, wait. This could be really fun. If he doesn't have Elite Barbarians and he Inferno Dragons right now, we could Zappies and shut it down and then just take his tower and potentially 3-crown him. Mighty Miner, that's even better for me. Are you kidding me? Let's go, baby. He's going to click the ability and go to the other side probably and then kill the Zappies. But, I mean, I don't really care that much because the Mighty Miner is still going to die and I might be able to 3-crown you. So this could be really funny. I'm going to Skeleton Army as quickly as I can after he arrows us, so then we're able to finish off the rest of the Night Witch, and then we can Arrows on top of the Mighty Miner and all the other stuff, and we're getting an insane amount of Elixir from killing Elixir Golem blobs. And the Zappy is permanently taking the damage for the Royal Giant too. I kind of wish he had Inferno Dragon here, but it's very satisfying beating decks like this too. So I'm going to eat the Electro Dragon damage because it's minimal. Oh, I wanted to eat the Electro Dragon damage, but I guess I can't. I'm going to Hunter immediately on top of it, and then the Royal Giant's going to do enough to take out the left-hand tower for sure. Wow, one hit, and it deletes it. Sends it to the Shadow Realm. To this day, I still get excited by that. I feel like I shouldn't get that amped up about a Hunter killing an Electro Dragon, but, I mean, there's not much that can one-shot an entire dragon, but Hunter can do that for only 4 Elixir. So he's going to Battle Healer here too. I guess I want a Skeleton Army as quickly as I can just to make sure that we force out more Elixir from our opponent like a Fireball. The Skeletons are swarming the Mighty Miner. He doesn't even know where to go. He's twisting and turning. He's doing all these different yoga poses, but he still can't find his way on top of the Royal Giant. We walk with a very decisive victory, keeping both of our towers there, and he loses all 3. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.